As ready as we'll ever be, I guess. As ready as we'll ever be.
Oh my god, are you channeling my daughter? She does that crap all the time with that type of voice. Let's see.
What?
Oh, okay.
Like this.
There we go. I'll recenter me a little bit. Because I didn't pay any attention to any of that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Push to Talk.
Woo!
We love that you're here. I'm gonna share. I'm a big one. 75 months. Woo!
Bonjour, I don't know.
Is this the happy Push to Talk show where we would totally not start ranting about CCP changes at all?
Yeah. CCP never changes things for the negative. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, Utah.
Woo!
We're not allowed to talk about Eve for the first 20 minutes.
So this is Push to Shill.
What are we doing?
Unless you feel it necessary to suspend the Dawn rule.
There we go.
The Dawn rule only applies to Dawn, though.
The Dawn rule. Hey, Nikki Nakano is only 33% here, folks. So that's good.
Oh, okay.
Wait till FanFest with that shit.
Oh, yeah, that'll go over well at FanFest. It's like, woohoo, we got all these great changes. We're ready for FanFest. Plus, we're going to charge you almost 3 times the current rate of inflation on your monthlies. I don't pay monthly, so. But yeah.
Yes, for
Age
all
of
of these great changes we're bringing in, including and also
I
gotta ask a question. Did we all get in the wrong Discord channel today? Because Soth was there.
Yep.
Soth is in public voice. Okay, everybody.
Yeah, we're all in public voice, and we should be all being on air.
Yeah, let's all go to on air. On air.
Jesus Christ! There we go. Everybody's now on the left-hand side.
Dawn hasn't moved. Can we move her? I'm gonna move her.
You had an hour.
There we go.
to notice this.
Oh, you moved about.
Okay, Soth, we get on.
Sometimes it's the obvious stuff.
We start talking about interesting shit that's different between Europe and the United States that I find wildly interesting.
Maybe that should be
financial transaction costs, right? Literally, I wasn't kidding in the ping. We really were talking about that for like an hour, half an hour, whatever it takes.
Eric, I think we should maybe consider repurposing the show, right? Because Eve is literally fucking dying. So maybe we should just make this the Push to Talk across the pond.
Can we?
Wait, hold up, Caleb. Why don't we make it a cooking show?
Welcome.
Well, again, that too, right? We're looking at cultural differences between the U.S. or the things on the other side of the Atlantic and the old country, and food is part of that. We already had the cider war, right?
What are you saying? You saying this show should suddenly become Saturday Kitchen Live or something?
Yep.
Battle of the Biscuits. Is that what you were saying, Don? Yeah. What else we got?
God, Mike, do you not have a connection to the internet?
You know what? He's got the string and the paper cup, and you're
almost as good as I am.
Chip butts, buddies, and eel pie.
I have never eaten an eel pie before. I have never seen an eel pie be sort of on a menu in any way, shape, or form.
You have not?
No, I haven't. And it's. I think it's extremely rare to even see it sort of mentioned anywhere.
By the way, I'm going to say something about my sub to this channel. I actually pay for my sub to this channel. It's not the free Bezos bucks sub. Just so everybody knows.
What about smoked eel?
It's Jassy bucks now.
Jassy bucks.
Oh, smoked eel is amazing.
But have you had fried eel? Let's establish what kinds of eel you have had.
My sister says eel sushi is amazing, but I have not had it.
Oh, you need to try smoked eel. It's like the best food ever.
Yeah,
Smoke.
it's a bit fatty, so
Oh
be
yeah,
ready for
but
that.
still, it's really nice.
But that's also kind of what makes it so great.
Yep.
Have to have it hot though. If it gets cold, it starts getting a little mushy.
No, it's cold. It's still good. Like put it on a piece of bread, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
A good piece of bread, not American bread.
Hey, we got good. You know, one place in my favorite place in the world, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. I found from being on the group, there's a Hungarian restaurant there now, and they got all like the good breads and everything there out and all that, and so we can't wait to. What?
Here's a little
Have you
piece
ever
of knowledge
had
for you.
Pate? Yes, I've had pate. I have had goose liver pate. It's very good. I like it.
You should have pig liver pate.
Here's a little bit of knowledge for you, Eric.
There is an A in that particular word. I'm just going to let you guys know.
You know, American like toast bread, right? That you can toast up.
We can toast all breads. We toast bagels here. We toast everything.
You know the regular white bread that's already pre-cut, right?
Yeah.
In Germany, that's not considered bread.
Okay.
We call that toast. Even when it's not toasted, that's toast because it's not real bread for us.
Oh no, this is going to be like cider again, isn't it? Fucking Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I've an actual question because this comes out of a Sting song. In the UK, do you really just
It's
toast?
not right.
Do you toast your bread on one side?
It's incorrect. No,
Incorrect.
of course we don't.
You toast on both sides. Well, why does he say it?
Yes.
God damn it!
Because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
you know.
Just saying. I do love Englishmen in New York. It's a cool
Just
song.
propagating lies. Just propagating lies as statements of.
By the way. Technically, with my toaster, I can do that because our toaster has the bagel setting and it only toasts bagels on one side, right? So I could put bread in there and toast it.
I guess we could do the same because we have the same toasters, but generally we toast in toasters, which toast both sides of the bread.
I mean, I could see
toast one more time.
we may try that here. We're not sure. We may still do it. You know what? If you look at some of the white breads that are out, but there are better white breads than others out there. Plus, we have a
it's not white bread according to Sothrasil. It's raw toast.
Yeah,
well, actually, according to
raw toast.
in this house,
according to Sunorg in chat.
In this house, we prefer wheat bread for pretty much not wheat bread, but rye bread for pretty much everything. We love.
Oh, Veritas did a controversial one. Of course, we do know we do have bagels here. But the people that make the bagels have an issue with the European history.
According to Americans, apparently you can't have a bagel if it's outside of the New York. Because you need New York water for some reason. I don't know why.
You don't need New York water for any reason.
You do.
But I will tell you,
some of the bullshit. It's like people who have like, oh no, I have to have Fiji water. It's like, no, you don't have to have Fiji water. Wake up and get some fucking perspective in your life.
We grew up here. We have a whole Jewish section of our town. It had the best bagel place before Brugger's and all the chains and everything. They were still the best bagels, and they still are today. But the Jewish delis in New York, I will speak extremely highly of them, and they are really good. And yes, their bagels are good, but their sandwiches are even better. I mean, you're going to get a pound of meat on a sandwich. I mean, it's beautiful, and you can get that out of a good Jewish deli. Oh, it's amazing.
What you're saying is it's very American.
Because
they are overdoing everything.
Hey, I don't say whether, I don't know. All I'm saying is
sometimes I crave more meat than bread on my bread as well. But not always.
So when the meat is like twice the thick, or no, like twice the thickness of both of the pieces of like bread together,
right?
Like then it's not really a sandwich as such. It's more sort of like a pound of like meat with some bread.
That assumes that the bread is particularly thick.
Hello,
yes.
I mean, if you got to watch your carbs, you go for really thin bread, and then like if you twice the meat, that's not that bad.
I like it, Jimmy John's, where they hollow out the top of the hoagie roll. You know, and you get less bread.
That's a great way
that.
That's a great way to
Can you order a virgin? Was it a virgin deli roll, and it just comes just as the meat and nothing else? I'm just thinking for people who are on like keto, like they probably don't want the
just
bread. So, like,
don't eat the bread.
If I want to walk into a deli, like for example, if I want to walk into a deli, right, and get a roast beef sandwich with no bread and nothing but the roast beef, here's how I do it. I order roast beef.
He does have a point there.
He does have a very good point. But I was just going to point out that historically, the origin of the open sandwich that we have here in Denmark is actually from medieval England, where it was custom that most foods were served on a piece of bread, and the bread would then soak, and it would be given to the plebes and the servants.
Yeah, it was your plate.
Yep, it was. So you can just order a dish in the proper aristocratic way, McLeod, like eat like a proper old school master, and then just give the plate to someone else.
It was your plate, honestly, your waiter's dinner.
Exactly.
Like some of the I've had was it in Hungary? I had like goulash kind of like served inside of like a hollowed out roll. That was fucking fantastic, by the way. Like that's also a really cool kind of way.
It's a big thing here to hollow out a round sourdough and put soup in it. That's excellent.
Yeah, bread bowls.
Yeah. That same sort of thing. Yeah.
Speaking of Mediterranean food, when I was in Crete, I must say that traditionally I was not a huge fan of moussaka, but when you get it made the right fucking way, it is amazing. I pretty much ate that every single day on my vacation.
Nice.
Here, I'm going to show you proper. There we go.
Dirk's finally here, although he hasn't.
Look at that. That is a proper
microphone
sandwich from a New York deli.
That's what I mean. Right? That's what I mean. You take the thickness of that bread, and like the meat is twice as high as both of those pieces of bread like together.
Maybe three times.
Why the fuck did you even order this with bread? It's like this is just steak.
So you can hold it. I mean, you've seen the Permani sandwiches too, right?
Oh,
so we got the meat. You got the slaw, you got the tomatoes, you got cheese, and you got the Italian bread freshly cut, baby.
So we've just figured out that American culture with bread is just a handle. That's the origin of the fucking burger. It's like it is not for eating; it's just for holding.
Unless it's banana bread, then they go wild.
Hang on a sec. So the bread is just the handle. That's kind of the point of the bread. To begin,
it's a wrapper.
It's
a wrapper.
Yeah, it's a wrapper.
You know, the whole point of the sandwich was so sandwich,
but
it's fucking cards greasy.
You're not wrong, and it's the same origin of the pies, right? A proper British pie was so it was portable that you could have it in a bag, and
that's what also what a pasty was. Like, a Cornish pasty was essentially the same sort of thing. Like, it was essentially a full meal in a encapsulated form that you could just
hold on. I had to call out. Okay, by the way, we're talking about just any generic steak, not like a great prime, thick, perfectly cooked steak, but weapons grade incompetence. Steak is but a vehicle for my A1.
Huh?
God go with you, my brother. That is a beautiful statement. A1 sauce. Don't you have that in Europe? Don't you have A1?
We do have A1 sauce, but I would never ruin a perfectly good steak by slapping some pre-made sauce on
hold on. Steaks come in varying quality and things. You know, there's your everyday steak. There's my steak.
Like a minute steak, maybe.
Here. A steak is a proper steak here, right? We don't have those low quality cuts are not called steak here.
You don't put A1 on your burgers?
That's not a steak.
Burger is not a steak.
Burger is absolutely it's just chopped up steak. I hate to tell you.
Reconstituted steak.
Sirloin, you know.
Pressboard steak.
Yeah. Now, it's not 45-day dry aged, perfect prime beef. But
we're talking about cow
may I remind you that
bonded steak.
we have different cuts here than you do in the US, right?
We have different cuts.
A sirloin steak doesn't exist in Germany.
Well, you should get some.
Yeah,
they have a different name for it, I think.
We have grades. There's grades on each cut.
Name for it. It's
you serious? So you don't have a New York? You don't have a New York cut strip steak? Are you serious? How do you not have that? New York is the greatest melting pot.
Cut the beast wrong.
It's cut up in a different way in Germany. It also gets cut up in a different way in the UK. And also in Belgium, I believe, and the French do it differently as well.
Don't you guys have horse over there too? Horse steak and stuff like that too.
I mean, the French were going to cut it a different way, regardless, because like they're like the
French. A1 is a wonderful steak.
Swear to God, Mac, I thought you were going to say the French were going to cut it a different way, but the Germans made them not.
Let's delve into hamburgers a little bit. Mayonnaise or no mayonnaise on your hamburger?
Yes, thank you. Mayonnaise, please.
Depends.
Little bit.
If you want lettuce in it, you want mayonnaise in it.
How much sauce? Depends on what else is on it.
Yeah.
So if you sauce the top and
maybe also a nice dressing that you use for your salad as well.
The issue with saucing the top and the bottom of your bun like basically makes the burger like fucking dangerous to even try and attack.
A little bit slippery.
I think the main question is, what is your garnish in your burger, right? Because of course you have 2 pieces of bread and a patty, but what else do you put in it? That is going to decide what type of dressing you're going to put in it.
So if I have the traditional mushroom and Swiss burger, right? Nothing.
I am a fan of onions in burgers, by the way, just so you know.
Grilled or
ungrilled? You could put gravy in it, Eric. If you have like with mushrooms or with soft fried onions and shit like that, then gravy would be amazing.
There's a little bit of gravy, in with those mushrooms. A little bit of gravy with those mushrooms. There is, yeah.
You should try the Danish roast pork sandwich. Okay. It's amazing.
Okay, we're gonna go cheddar, lettuce, tomato, and bacon on your burger. Okay.
Well,
what do you put on it? What do you put on it?
Bacon can go in everything. Bacon can go in anything except.
I mean, that's have you not added cheese yet? Have you not added cheese yet?
Cheddar cheese. Cheddar.
Okay.
Cheddar, lettuce, and tomato.
American.
For that burger, all right. I've got to go Max American. Okay.
All right. What are you doing?
It's not that you put mayo, because mayo has been supplanted in the U.S. as the white people sauce. it really has.
I know where you're coming from. I understand. Right? Okay.
So you put a real thin bit of ranch on the bottom bun. Then you put your burger and everything else, and before the top bun, you add more cheese sauce.
Like a cheddar cheese sauce.
Cheese. Just a melted cheddar, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
That's Max Merkin.
Okay.
I'm tempted about the chili burger.
And you pair it with bacon cheese chili fries.
Ooh, yeah.
At least you didn't.
This is horrible. In it. Somebody's like,
you did not insist on the candied bacon. At least that's fine.
No, candied bacon. No, bacon. The candied bacon.
Damn crap there. That's garbage. That's imitation liquid bacon.
Smash burgers, excellent. Even though you called me a fat fuck, thank you. Okay, smash burgers, good. Right.
I'm much.
No, that was
definitely a fan.
That was us in the guns. That was us in guns, right? Yeah, it was kind of a dickhead. But yeah, smash burgers. Those are also good. We got many different things to do with the burger, right? I am a
preference. Thank you. It is a Western burger, so I love it with onions, bacon, cheddar cheese, and barbecue sauce.
Jalapenos.
I'm not a fan, but I would be an acceptable topping for someone who likes spicy.
Okay, hold it though, Dawn. raw onions, fried onions, or onion rings?
Why not all of them?
Hold on. As a side or on the burger?
On the burger.
On the burger.
Oh, yes.
I will do all of it. I like raw red onions. I like grilled onions. I like caramelized onions. I like the little shoestring onion kind of things. And then if you want to put an onion ring on instead, I'll probably take the onion ring off and just eat it because it's just like cumbersome on a burger. But yeah, like any form of like onion to go on a burger, I'm all about. Put it in the patty.
I've actually become a bit of a fan of. What's up?
I was just going to point out that this is one of the things where America completely wins, all the way, right? There's no competition when you're talking barbecue and burgers. They are the masters. You cannot compete with them, and this is where culinary and gastronomically they own that. But everything else they do is fucking wrong.
By the way, throw an egg on that motherfucking hamburger.
And excess, and you put those together, that spells murk.
Hey, I have to ask a question.
Barbecue is like add danger and fire.
Danger and fire. There's no danger in barbecuing.
There is fucking danger in barbecuing. Are you crazy? When Dad starts getting the fucking petrol.
Time out. I have to ask Caleb, what do you mean by barbecue?
I mean proper coal-based barbecue. I mean proper coal and smoke where things
there is no coal. There's no coal.
That sounds like Caleb's talking about grilling.
He means grilling.
Yeah, that's grilling. See, barbecue
but they're smoking
is made
wood and stuff.
Right. You use cherry wood, hickory wood, all different hardwoods.
Yes,
and you low temperature, long period of time, like 15,
Eric,
16
to be
hours.
fair, they do call when the wood finally gets hot enough, they do call it coals. So
yeah, what Kelly's basically saying is like everything that's like basically cooking on with anything other than gas. Really.
And the really fascinating thing is like in Europe we have these small like Weber grill things, right? And they're really nice and good, but in America they just already take it to the fucking Cadillac level. So with these huge things with chimneys and shit, and there's like half a part where you can smoke things and the other where you fry things and where you steam things. It's like, you guys are just masters of that shit. It's like amazing.
Outdoor kitchens,
Yeah. So
now, Caleb, when I say barbecue, think of also you can put barbecue pulled pork on top of a burger with all the other stuff.
Well, and the real magic is that from my experience, when you're talking grilling, right, and especially even the American stuff. Anything you put in there, I bet if you put a shoe in there, you could eat it. It's like everything comes out tasting amazing.
Especially with the right sauce on it. I mean,
I got to throw out another comment.
Got the right glaze on it when you're grilling it. Yeah, that shoe will come out great.
I got to throw another comment.
Like, why are they talking about food?
Froggy Storm notes that if your barbecuing is not dangerous, it means you're not consuming enough bourbon while you're cooking. So we're gonna round golf clap. Excellent. Yep. Well pointed, right, Froggy. Thank you.
He's not wrong, right? Because if you're not really like a culinary master with all that expensive equipment, you're doing it basically white trash style, right? And then it's just gasoline and wood, and it's just
one last food thing. By the way, I have the little round Weber. Okay. You can still smoke your meats in the Weber. You put a little bit of charcoal on one side, and you put your damp hardwood in there with it. Just keep it low temperature, cook it, your ribs, everything. It'll come out amazing for you, kid. You need to decide whether you like mesquite, hickory, or what kind of hardwood. You cherry wood, apple wood. What kind of wood do you want? Put those wood chips in there, baby.
Applewood.
Balsa wood.
Balsa
might have cyanide in it. It might kill you. I don't know.
I would not recommend it, by the way.
By the way, the further south and west you go in the United States, barbecue means different things. Okay? So everywhere except the upper Northeast, barbecue is correctly used as a term. In the Northeast
Northeast, it gets used for grilling a lot.
Yeah, grilling. It's just grilling, right? No. And my father-in-law, who's great, they came from Kansas City before they immigrated here from Odessa. He smokes everything. He brings over to us like smoked cheese.
Tell him to smoke some eel.
Awesome.
So he smokes cheese, he smokes salmon, he smokes trout, he smokes
weed,
beef.
But...
no, that's my mother-in-law. Okay, so
that's right. We talked about that before.
That's right.
And she doesn't share. She's very mean.
That's right. You mentioned.
So before we move on to the I do have one question.
She should at least hotbox.
Hey.
So Eric,
yes, sir.
Which area of the country barbecue do you like the most?
Oh, there is just pure enjoyment of all the different sauces, all the different barbecue methods. I love it in Texas. I love it in Kansas City.
A lot of people in Europe don't understand that it's very different everywhere. Like North Carolina has a white barbecue sauce, and then like the South is sometimes very vinegary. Then Texas is all beef. Like they just so all the sauces are catered towards beef. And then I love Kansas City barbecue. That's
Eric,
my
what about
area.
Seattle barbecue?
My first really good barbecue was at Gates Barbecue in Kansas City on the Missouri side. Most people don't know Kansas City is there's a Kansas and a Missouri side. But yeah, Gates Barbecue, it's fantastic. And that was a vinegar-based one. It was fantastic, but I like them all. I've eaten it in Texas. South Carolina, their sauces are very mustard-based, right? All good, man. Just enjoy it all. Love it.
I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to be controversial and say I like Korean barbecue.
Okay.
Oh yeah, excellent.
It's meat.
We are fans,
and I love Korean barbecue.
Never had Korean barbecue.
Oh, it's a little
you
sweeter.
Need to go do it.
I do like some sweetness to like a barbecue sauce. So
yeah, you like a Georgia red sauce.
There used to be a really great Mongolian barbecue around here, but
we used to have one of those too.
I would like to mention in a honorary mention, Germans have these sauces that are amazing for barbecue. Like the line of selection, their curry based ones, really really good. What's the brand name, Soth?
That's probably it.
How the fuck do I know?
I will.
I know which one he's talking about because they are so awesome, good. But I can't remember the fucking name.
I will tell you, take some kielbasa, you smoke that up, then you slice it up, put it in a little mini slow cooker with some, and you can even just use store-bought red barbecue sauce. Just put it in there. Oh, it's fantastic. It's be like dying.
All right. Eve time.
Eve time.
You got the woman 10 minutes of food.
The woman has spoken.
Has there been some development with CCP this week?
No.
I'm sure CCP hasn't
wait until FanFest. Wait until FanFest.
I don't think they've got enough money to provide development. So.
Should we start with the good things?
Okay, let's start with
good thing.
Okay, let's start with good.
Always like when we highlight the good things.
Yeah, so let's highlight the good things.
So, nearly 1 week ago, someone lost an AT ship, and he petitioned it because he thought he shouldn't have lost it. There were server issues, so he petitioned it to get it back.
Okay.
CCP have always stated that they will never reimburse AT ships. So, to the surprise of everyone, this guy actually got his AT ship back. Then he was smart enough to actually make a screenshot of his interaction with the GM and link that screenshot in an in-game channel, which someone promptly put onto Reddit. And people got really mad because, CCP said they will never do that. But before it could get out of control, CCP Swift actually came in and clarified that it was a mistake. They talked to the GM, and the ship will get destroyed again, and they still maintain that they won't reimburse AT ships. So, good handling of the situation. Mistakes happen. There was clear communication there, and it was quick. So,
well, and yeah,
that's my good thing of the week.
So why did this Dorcas post that he got his AT ship reimbursed?
Because he's an idiot.
He was gloating.
Okay.
I get it. I'd be excited too if I got mine back, but
just shut your mouth and move on.
The thing is, though, there are people out there who are tracking AT ships. So
yeah,
it is likely that if he would have undocked that thing again, people would have known what happened, right?
maybe.
At least they would have asked questions.
Maybe. You never know. But, walking down the street with a bullhorn guarantees it.
Here's my illegal drugs.
Hey,
look at my pile of illegal drugs. Something like that.
I'm just sitting there going,
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about Charles Dance in Last Action Hero. Hello? I've just shot a man and I want to confess. Hey, shut up down there.
You had me at dancing. All right. Oh my god.
So that was the good news. What's the bad news?
No, Ossifer, I'm not drunk. What?
I don't think there's any bad news today, this week, right? I don't think there's really anything that's happened.
No bad news.
Nothing of consequence.
Well, the subscription servers were down.
CCP Paragon went and had a nice little chat with a bunch of people on the Eve FanFest Discord, just answering questions about what was coming up, and
he got the shittiest job in the world.
What people could expect at FanFest,
How'd that go?
Which was cool.
It
went really well. Everybody came out of it really happy, and folks were thrilled, and all of the answers seemed really upbeat and very satisfying.
I'm really trying to figure out if that's sarcasm or you're being real with us.
Oh,
it's horrendous.
At some point, we will, traverse back into the realms of reality, away from this Marvel, alternate universe.
I'm just pointing this out. That, sometimes talking to Horrendous is like walking into a sliding glass door. By the way, I mean that in the kindest, nicest way, so everybody knows.
That's perfectly fine, Eric. I know what you mean.
Good.
I love this sliding door.
Yeah, I don't have sliding doors in my house
because he walks into them.
No, we actually have two doors that are like pretty much all glass.
But yeah, it's Paragon came in and had a chat and answered some questions, and
everybody sang Kumbaya.
I was really impressed. I was really impressed that he apparently believes that FanFest announcements will be so amazing, and I'm really hoping this is true. They will be so amazing that they will completely revamp subscribers' personal finances and give people.
That is impressive. That is impressive.
I know.
What the hell does that mean?
Are we doing the 0 down 12 months, subscription fee cost, or do I have to take a second mortgage out of my house now to play Eve?
No.
I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you don't.
See, one guy in the question and answer session, which did involve, CCP's new pricing plan. One guy pointed out that he has a certain number of accounts that he currently has subscribed, and that he actually, cannot afford to keep all those accounts subscribed at the new higher price. And Paragon really impressively said, hey, wait for FanFest, it'll be that cool. So, hey, if FanFest is going to be so cool that people will find extra money in their goddamn wallets every fucking month.
Well,
Oh yeah, it was Paragon who said that. Like I thought that was going to be the retort of you should probably drink less Starbucks and
no, that was Dark Magni on the forums.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Paragon's the one who told somebody in response to, I can't actually afford this. Just wait for FanFest.
Because if you
it'll be that cool.
If you can't afford your Eve subscriptions, you can afford to go to FanFest.
Well, I mean, you don't have to go to FanFest, but if you can't afford your Eve subscriptions, just wait, because Hilmar's going to say something that will magically put more money in your hands.
That sounds promising.
I wonder what
given Hilmar's boner for play to earn.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to say
that. Kind of scares me.
after the hot tub incident, you're not allowed to say Hilmar and Boner in the same sentence on this show. Okay.
I fully expect that's his plan for FanFest. Is just run around swinging it with no pants on.
Probably has a tattoo on it. Welcome to Jamaica. Have a nice day. Okay. That was a who did that? It wasn't Pryor. It was the other guy in their comedy skit. I forget.
See, Eric, that might have been a little bit of sarcasm.
Just a little. Not a lot. Tiny. We almost couldn't tell.
A little bit.
You know.
I think somebody either killed. I think someone might have killed Dirk because he's not.
He's still muted because I think he's still walking home.
We still haven't even touched on a fraction of what happened.
There is
that announcement.
Yeah. Hey, just the tip.
I would like to say that Dawn has been wanting to talk about Eve for the past half to 3/4 of an hour. So
also before we go into
probably
more stuff, I am going to slightly shill for Brisk here because Brisk did post something on the forums that has me really excited for the meta show today.
Ooh.
Double black shirt meta show.
Ooh.
No, it was 33% more black shirt.
No. What he posted on in the Plex and Omega price changes discussion thread was double black shirt.
Well, that's exciting.
Does that mean that Mittens is going to be wearing 2 shirts, or is it that?
Well,
he might have 2 shirts on.
Don't you remember in the 80s? You put one polo under the other, and you put the little collar up, and he might do that. You don't know.
Or he might just be wearing a black T-shirt under a black button down, and have the black button down kind of open.
Yeah, that would work.
Double. That's like double secret probation, right? Double black shirt, right? Who put fizzies in the pool?
No, for those of you that haven't seen,
I think Goon should put fizzies in the Blue Lagoon thing. The little thing. That'd be funny.
Because I don't think we actually went over it. So they're raising the price of the game in a few months. It's not starting right away.
No, it's next month, May 17th.
Okay. Well, no, they're giving discounts for a couple months, and then they're going to raise the price.
Yes, right. Because they're saying they really need this money to maintain.
They really need the money, so they're going to have
they're doing discounts.
Sales.
Yeah.
Well, here's what it is, right? They do the discounts. Everybody does a run on purchasing, right? And they jack up their quarterly. Come on, guys. It's
everybody wants to take advantage of the sales prices before the actual price hike. So they're hoping that people will go and purchase a shit ton of time.
Or there's people like me. It's like, do I really give a fuck? I mean, why am I going to run to purchase anything at a discount? You just lose it all. In the duration of them holding money.
This change greatly affects the people who buy month to month.
Yeah.
Because it's a $5 per month change.
Yeah. By the way,
if you're buying the year-long or 2-year-long thing, it's not as bad. It's only
right. There's a discount, but I'm going to hand out a award.
That's the reason why they want to do it is because they want people to purchase long periods, large bulk purchases.
Hey, I have to hand out the dumb award of the day.
It's not going to be large bulk purchases, though. It's going to be like 1 month sales, like this current one.
Yeah. I just got a point. I got to hand out the dumb person of the show award today, and it's going to go to Gragnor 1. Okay, he said doesn't matter anymore because we're past quarter end because quarters obviously end. Right? There's no next quarter that we want to jack up or anything, right? Or the annual results or anything. No.
These are CCP quarters. Remember, quadrant, which means 4. One of them went 6.
My
7
God!
months for
it's the end of the quarter. It doesn't matter that they're going for a rush. Really, you're in a quarter right now. That's the quarter.
Oh my God! I'm in a quarter.
Oh my God! He probably has a check.
Don't worry, people hopefully he learns from today, which is nice because then it's a learning experience.
Yeah. I hope you learned something.
If he didn't learn from the fact that he wanted to charge $90 for a little monocle, he's not gonna learn Oh, sorry, I moved on to Hilmar and the whole because he's the one who probably did the price adjustment.
Hey,
guys, we need more money.
Guys, I'm not an accountant. You know what? I'm not an accountant. But I do a lot of investments and look at my quarterly reports, and I kind of get quarterly releases from companies and how they work. So,
no. Hilmar looked at what Netflix was doing and thought, hey, look, Netflix is doing really nicely to this.
I mean, but if you think of this, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here, guys, right? So you think about this, right? How long have we been paying the same rate for the same thing? The difference is we actually hold on. The difference is I'm just going to say that
time than EverQuest has been doing it.
But we used to actually get interesting content and cool development stuff, but that kind of ended.
Yes, so we have been getting less and less for our money. So before you tell us that we have to pay more for getting less now, how about you actually tell us like what you're going to do with that money? Like what exciting things you have in plan for us before you tell us about the price.
No.
Things you're going to tell us.
Paragon got asked that. Paragon got asked that, and he said that would be cowardly.
I don't give a fuck about Paragon.
Hold on.
It would be cowardly.
This is the CCP representative there to answer pre-FanFest questions and generate.
But I will say he was not prepared to have this conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him a little bit of slack of maybe not having all the prepared answers.
There's a different way to answer that. You say, "Hey, I'm not prepared to answer that yet. There's going to be some announcements or
I'll get back to you on that
later.
on Monday after I've had a chance to talk.
Yeah, not that would be cowardly because that again is as stupid as saying there's no next quarter.
It would be cowardly to tell you guys about the price changes at the same time as we told you what you're getting for it. But it's totally not to do it 20 minutes before everybody leaves the office for the weekend on a Friday.
Yeah, it's like, they had an Easter, like they had 4 days off.
Always drop it. So. Why do they always drop these things on a Friday? Thinking
because that's a news
going to see it out of the office.
Right,
it's not like you're fucking sending an email to people. Like you fucking like it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Like we're past the point where we get our information via email. Like nobody's not at the it's not like we're not at the office and so we can't fucking read the email. Like we can get it wherever the fuck we want.
But Mac,
this information.
It's CCP's version of Post and Leggett.
It's the Friday news dump is a
I understand.
How you do this stuff and get away with it, and
I understand.
Because it doesn't work doesn't mean anybody's willing to admit it doesn't work.
Yeah. By the way,
I guess that's the case, but I understand the fact that they posted it's a posted and run away from the fucking.
It's called a Friday.
Being able to respond to it, but that doesn't mean that if anything, that's worse because you actually you create a situation where you generate a complete fucking there's a vacuum. I can literally hear myself.
Oh, really?
It's kind of yes.
Yeah. I wonder how.
I don't know. I have no
idea. I can hear myself through you as well.
But they create
all the commentators.
They create a vacuum where our worst fear, we're always going to put our fucking worst fear as to what the fuck this is, what the fuck's going on into there, right? And that is not beneficial to CCP, and it erodes people's trust to CCP every fucking time they do it.
So I'm going to ask something. Can you hear yourself now? Talk.
No, I don't. No.
Okay,
I'm not hearing myself through you anymore.
I'm not doing anything. I have headset on, so I don't play speakers, so it's kind of weird. But anyway, So yeah, that's really weird. And so anyway, the Friday news dump is a big political thing, right? You dump the bad news on Friday, you dump the good news on Monday, right? Because the weekend news cycle doesn't matter. But but what they don't realize on Eve,
the weekend news cycle does matter.
The Eve's news cycle is Saturday.
Right.
This is when we talk about it.
Eric, I would agree with you if we were talking real life stuff and markets and shit.
Right,
but when you're talking gaming,
20 years ago, maybe.
That's what I said. That's my point.
And that means that they misunderstand how fucking games work.
Well, they misunderstand how just life works in that way for 20 years.
Just not grasp that Eric was making it.
Well, I mean, it's not very difficult to realize that Eric is making a point.
Hey!
For a moment to cut in. Good evening, guys.
Sometimes my points really don't make sense and they're kind of lame, and I understand why you might not get that I'm making. It's okay.
But we've talked about this before, right? It is the fascinating things about, especially, or it used to be a fascinating thing about EVE Online, that it was the flip side. It was the mirror of real world markets. So everything that was true about how real world markets work, you had to flip the whole week, right? Everything happened on the weekend instead of happening from Monday to Friday. So it's always been like that it's upside down. It's just funny that CCP doesn't know this.
I mean, you really do have to wonder about who the hell took a look at this sort of strategy and went, oh yeah, this is more transparent, we need to tell players that we're gonna do this so that, they don't feel like we're lying to them, hiding things. But also, in their marketing strategies, just go, yeah, we're not gonna tell you anything good. I think Soft had a really good point earlier of just like, how the fuck do you look at that and go, this is a good idea?
The other thing is, yes,
Paragon was even admitting, yes, the optics here are awful. But
didn't anybody think maybe we should work on that?
When you have ISDs telling people in the same sentence that they should be civil and then calling them morons.
Yeah, no, that's absurdly dumb thing to do from a moderator standpoint.
What did I miss?
Oh, some of the conversations that were happening on the official
was pointing out statements like, "Be civil, you morons."
I mean, is this person 5 or 9? I mean,
well, no,
I expect that from a 9-year-old.
That was an ISD. That was a volunteer. Okay. That was not Paragon. Let's just be clear.
Okay.
But so, I don't know what CCP's planning to announce at FanFest. All right, but
better be godly.
This is just so fucking boneheaded to build up outrage ahead of time.
It's not as if CCP have an issue with, accidentally building up outrage. Never mind going out there and CCP, going, hey,
it's not like CCP have any problems with, player trust or anything.
No, not at all. It's at an all-time high, isn't it?
Dude, I truly think they are so tone deaf to everything. They don't understand. I mean, I really think they're kind of that dumb. Okay, now understand. Somebody made a thing in the comments, right? Who was that? I got to find it. Somebody said they've been waiting over 2 years for CCP to stop fucking up. So I had to go out to EveWho and figure something out, right? I have been waiting since 2006 for CCP to stop fucking up. So there you go.
I won't go that far, but I've been waiting since they botched Incarna.
Yeah.
So the funny thing the funny thing with you talking mentioning that Horrendous is, I kind of feel that this is like a sort of pseudo Incarna moment, because they're essentially basically saying, we feel we deserve more money, and then we're turning around going, why? What the fuck for? Yeah. You haven't put anything out there that makes us think, this is more this is more deserving of
what we're
money.
Getting before you ask for more money.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So if you guys are a little bit clueless as where we're going with this, kind of thing, it is basically the same as Monocle Gate, right? They hike the price out,
and now for the low price of only $5 more a month, you can.
But the worst bit about this, is this isn't a cosmetic optional thing that you could potentially buy. This is leveraged against you if you want to be an Omega.
Right.
So
everybody.
And it's increasing the price of Plex through ISK, because they're increasing the price of Plex for money. So yeah, they're driving more inflation in the game.
Should we touch upon the other critical thing that they said they're going to invest 70% of their work on new player experience again?
What they said.
Could you stop with the new player experience bullshit? You've been doing this
time
for
they
5
do this. We tell them
it's never gonna get better.
The new player experience is fine. The new player experience is wonderful. It's been great the last 3 or 4 iterations. It's what happens after that when you slam into missioning that hasn't changed since 2003.
Yep.
That there's a problem. And we reorganized career agents. Big deal. It's still the same system. It's just the same system with a new set of paint.
So
with a new coat of paint on it. It's the same bullshit 2003 system.
Yeah. And just for clarity,
your game, not your tutorial.
Just for clarity, they said they are already putting 70% of their dev focus towards the thing, and so one of the things that Paragon said is that they need more money so that they can focus on like some big new expansion. And so, you know, hey, if CCP need more money for more devs for this big new expansion, like, the fuck?
But do they not
understand so much
you have?
Well, maybe stop focusing so much on the new player experience that you got right 3 years ago.
But don't they understand that their product is already borderline saturated in the format that it is? So doing something like a price hike, you're more likely to end up cash fucking negative because people will leave or reduce their accounts proportional to the price increase. So you're more likely to actually lose money than gain money.
Well, that is to be said. Again, think about what is the driving factor for a 33% monthly increase, right? It's 20%.
Well, according to Paragon,
it's about 20% on the longer term stuff, right?
According to Paragon, the driving factor, the thing that really makes this necessary, is the fact that none of their Russian customers can pay them right now.
Well, I mean that's
hold on, wait.
Not on us, not on CCP.
Right. And so when he was asked, well, then when things stabilize again and the Russians can actually pay for their subscriptions again, will the price go back down? And his response was, I don't know.
Maybe.
Basically, no.
Yeah,
that is what he's saying.
Costs never go down, right? Costs monster increase never go down, right?
So exactly.
I can see that as a viable reason as to why they need that, right? Because they need certain operating money to go, right? And if they lose a large segment of their player base, as they have, right? They've lost a couple countries, right?
I can see that as an understandable reason why they feel they need more capital right now. However, I cannot accept as honest. We need all this money. Look, we just took this major hit to our income stream. We need all this money. We're going to have constant sales, by the way. So we're really not going to worry about getting paid all this money.
Yeah. But that's
a idea. If they need more money.
But here's the thing: when you lose part of your customer base, that's not my problem. That's your problem, right? So that's not an actual
grow your customer base.
Yeah, grow your customer base by not pissing them off on don't piss your customers off so they leave.
Fixing your game.
Okay.
Exactly.
Make your game
novel
something
idea
that is actually attractive.
Yeah.
You know, if you want more money, how about you start looking at all of those feature requests from veteran players who have been slowly decreasing their alt account
all
numbers.
All of the things we have told them for years. Hey, listen, if you do this, we will throw money at you. We will throw money at you until we run out of money because we really want this shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So before you actually,
that's not a sustainable sales model. If we put alliance skins in, we can't sustain it because people will just buy it once and be done. Bitch, I fly more than one type of ship.
So,
it's like 3 to 4 ships I would potentially for.
So who was it who said, we make money the old-fashioned way, we earn it? Do you remember those Arendis and Don in the U.S., right? Who was that? Somebody needs to remake that commercial in terms of what CCP should do to get this money. Not just say, oh yeah, for the same thing, it's the same shit we've been giving you, okay, we're going to charge you more for it because we lost a big portion of our player base, right? I don't think the Russians even play?
They can play, but they can't pay.
Right. Unless they get Plex.
Okay. Unless they do E.F. Hutton. No, E.F. Hutton.
There are workarounds, but they are complicated and they cost you a lot of money. Basically, you need to convert your rubles into a different currency.
So is CCP?
This will be the moral kind of reasoning behind Hilmar saying like, this play to earn thing is like a moral thing that we should be doing for our customers.
So
like,
and by the way,
people who can't pay, let them like earn, and then they can pay their subscription back.
Just help me lay out something for you all to discuss, right? So we have the Russian players who can play, but they can't pay for subscription fees, right? Let's just say it that, or Plex or any of that other stuff outside the game, right? So because the company has decided that even though a segment of the population can't pay for whatever reason, right, that should be subsidized by all the people who can pay. And at no time will those who apply to subsidy be given back the subsidy that they paid for the Russian players to have access, according to what we know today. That and CCP apparently believes that is okay, since that's the reason they gave. I don't really think that's the reason they're doing it, but that's the reason they gave, right? So
there's a real fucking twisty, moralistic kind of aspect to this that is just really fucked up. I'm just saying.
I mean, CCP said it
because we're paying to subsidize Russian players, right?
Right, their revenue is going to go in the toilet.
The Russian players
still not getting Omega, right? So,
I mean, they get Plex. They get the Plex option. That's it.
Right, and they can do things in the game, and they can get Plex, and they can pay for their accounts, right?
Yeah, but CCP Plex are getting more expensive,
So it appears that CCP has seen a hit to their revenue and identified that because of whatever's happening with Russia and the sanctions, right? So
or they're just using it as an excuse.
Right. Well, they're either using it as an excuse, or they've got to say the rest of the world.
It does kind of sound like an excuse.
You're going to pay for the Russians to play to keep the lights on because we have certain expenses on a monthly basis, right? That we need to cover because we don't have that revenue, right? Well, that's not my problem.
It's either an excuse.
Maybe stop throwing money at like dumb FPS that will never see the light of day.
Wait, what? You don't want to see Project Phoenix Rising, whatever the fuck, version 5.0 stuff? You're not interested in that.
I would be amazed if it is anything. If it's like anything slightly different to what we saw at the previous kind of incarnation.
I would be amazed if it ever gets as functional as Dust did on release.
I'd be amazed if it ever.
Bottom line is
playable as a demo. Never mind.
Functional. By the way, that is an option that they have to them. Readjust their budgets that they've established for the year because their income has radically changed. If that is truly the reason, my thing is right. Do we really? There's two models, right? There's the Costco model where, hey, we could sell everything at cost and still make a profit because of our annual subscriptions that we have, right? And then there is the model where gaming seems to be trying to push away from the monthly subscriptions, right? And into the, buy our gold, right? Online gold, right? Or the really egregious ones that I hate, we're going to shove commercials down your neck unless you actually buy the game, and we're still going to sell you things in the game for microtransactions, right?
I would just like to defend CCP just for a second here. I know that it's maybe not the best timing, but aside from, of course, World of Darkness and the many attempts of rekindling or resurrecting Dust, they've not failed on their projects as such. Maybe monetarily they failed, but they've delivered and produced playable and pretty good games every single time, right? These games that they've produced are not bad, so
let him finish.
Just demos.
Let him finish. Is that it? Your complete thought?
He did.
Okay.
They've delivered one game.
What, Valkyrie, Dust, Gunjack?
You said other than the FPSs, so we're taking Dust out of this equation here.
No. I'm saying the attempts to rekindle and remake Dust have failed, right? Yeah, they've never delivered on those.
They delivered Dust in a form that was always doomed to fail. They delivered Valkyrie, and then immediately killed it. They had a mobile game company deliver Gunjack for them. They had another mobile game company deliver Echoes for them. What exactly have they delivered as a lasting product?
That's the termination of a success, right? Cash positive, viable over multiple years.
I mean, I can still go and buy Sims 3 stuff, while the Sims 4 is, years old.
My daughter just said she wants to play Sims 4. She's 12. Okay?
She just wants to lock them in the pool.
She didn't say, hey, Dad, I want to play Eve. What happens if you lock them in the pool? Do they die?
I don't remember.
Well, I'm going to try
I just know that, I don't think everything that any small kid wants to do in The Sims.
We know the add-ons that Caleb uses for Sims.
So what have they actually delivered, as a going concern? Like, not yes, this was here for 6 months and then gone.
Well, I'm just saying that many of those things were collaborations, but they were still highly run by CCP. And I don't think, looking at the number of hires for the office that is supposedly working on this super secret thing that we're not allowed to get any fucking news about, there's a lot of people working on it. So maybe this is to cover the losses on that thing, because if that's been delayed, I don't know, because of COVID, because of lack of income, because of bad management, well, covering their shit by hiking EVE Online kind of makes sense, but it's a horrible fucking solution.
Now, I just want to be clear here, okay? When you talk about this super secret thing that we're not allowed to know anything about, you're talking about a new game, correct? Because that sounds a lot like their economy plan and every other plan they've ever announced about EVE.
Wait. Someone just pointed out something in chat.
Okay.
I want to just say to CCP, if you're running low on money, just remember that scarcity breeds innovation.
Fucking fantastic.
Bravo.
Ouch. Shots fired.
That's beautiful.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, well, CCP are just really, really getting behind their era of Plexperity with these changes. That's it.
Plexperity, yeah.
And I'm gonna go ahead and give at least part of CCP props, as we always do. Like, if they were to go ahead and implement the player suggestions for totally cosmetic shit we want to throw money at them for, Alliance skins, Corp skins, structure skins. If you can't do full skins, just the ability to overlay your corporate or alliance logo on your ships.
Yes. Which they have the ability to do on other stuff already.
They have the ability to do it, and all of those assets are already in the game. Okay? Now, if they were to take those ideas and try to implement them, we already know the art team kicks ass.
Yep.
Yeah, but the art team is busy.
What are they? Oh, new player experience.
Busy redesigning the NPE, yeah.
Yeah, NPE, yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as they finish that, they'll have to redesign the NPE again.
But look, this is how you keep people in stable, honest employment, Orendis. Make them do the same thing over and over again.
Hey.
Derek, I'd just like to point out that I am not going to Berlin, and I'm not going to whenever the next London meet is. So I will not be slapping you at either of those events. But I really want to.
Slappy.
It's alright. I'm sure somebody will be around to do it for you, Arendis.
Soft, slap Dirk for me. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm just I'm at a loss. I mean, I understand some sort of increase based on just things have increased in cost, but I'm trying to figure out what the hell is CCP bought that's new.
Hold up.
They need to subsidize.
Hold up. I understand some form of increase because things have gone up in cost. If things have gone up in cost that much in the particular type of service they deliver, why haven't any other MMOs had to do this?
Oh my god! I don't know. Sorry, didn't mean to bring it up. Just gonna hide down here.
I mean,
no.
Like Guy Game posted a comparison in the feedback thread about it, where he shows that CCP is going to be above pretty much everybody else now in price point. For shit where they have not delivered anything for years.
Electronic distribution
where they've actively been limiting your options for years.
So software.
To be fair, they have delivered slight adjustments to various different variables.
Yeah.
In the database.
And they've walked back some of their limitations a little bit. But that's not introducing new stuff. That's unfucking their fuck ups. But only a little bit.
To which they would really like us to praise them for. Like, unfucking your fuck ups shouldn't be something that's praiseworthy.
Yes, unlike CCP though, the EVE community does have a memory slightly longer than that of a goldfish.
Yeah, slightly. Not a lot though, but
despite some of them. Despite some of them really pushing against that particular kind of
right. I mean, we're not hearing Tranquility's being upgraded. There's no major capital.
We don't know what we're hearing,
right?
We don't know what we're hearing. What we're hearing is you're going to pay more. Why? Wait for FanFest.
Well, actually, you say that, Eric. You say we don't know, what their costs have increased on. It's actually interesting that you say that because CCP a little bit earlier this week released a dev blog.
They did release that history of their hardware, yeah.
Yeah, it's a hardware revamp for server nerds. It's actually kind of interesting if you're a hardware guy. So go.
I am a little bit. I'm gonna have to read it.
There is a comment in there that back in 2019, they started playing with some sort of AMD EPYC server to help with their database issues. And they really liked it, and it was like this 128-core fun piece of AMD EPYC hardware, and we all know that AMD is doing great hardware at the minute.
It is.
Apparently, they backed off from actually pulling the trigger on installing that and kind of paying for that over the long term because of expense, and instead backed off to a pair of a dual socket Xeon machine to help run their database.
If you know anything about that, you would realize that those two Xeons are probably more expensive than the EPYC.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
So you kind of look at it and you go, okay, so you had financial concerns about your hardware in 2019, so you made this decision, but in 2019, we were still kind of, we were starting to get to the point of what the fuck are you doing, CCP, with the drifter attacks, and then the blackout, and then the start of scarcity, but the thing that really gets me is if they'd done these sorts of changes, this sort of pricing change, in smaller increments across more years, you go back to 2014, people were kind of happy. CCP add on $1 or $2 to the monthly sub. Sure, it's an increase, but it's a little increase. It's a smaller increase. It's not like a straight 33% hike in your monthly cost. And actually, people might have been okay to pay that extra little bit back in 2014, 2015, when we had roadmaps and we had communication and we had a great community team and the Alliance tournament was going strong and, people were you're frustrated about some things, but mostly fine with the state of the game. Or if they'd done it in 2016, when we were just starting to see Citadels come in, and there was this whole plan for a new paradigm of Citadels and getting rid of the pause mechanics and underlying things to really improve the way the game worked, people probably would have been happy with a small increase at that point. But no, now you're trying to shove a 33% in a single month subscription cost down our throats after 3 years nearly 3 full years of shit. How the fuck do you think that goes?
I'll tell you right now, if Eve has 50,000 subscribers, I'd be surprised. But if they do have 50,000 subscribers, right, and all those subscribers remain, there is one change that they could announce at FanFest
get close to your mic for the audience.
Would be worth it without having to actually put in any of their fucking labor or investment in it. Right? If they were to go ahead and at FanFest announce that the increase in pay, the increase in cost, is entirely 100% going to pay to bring back CCP Guard, I could be honest.
I'm in. I'm in.
No, there is one thing missing there.
250,000 a month for Guard to come back? Yeah, sure.
No. There's one thing missing there. That the way they can rescue this, right, is that they announce at FanFest that Hilma is stepping down and God is taking over.
Win.
I would go for a $10 a month increase for that.
Hey, you shut your mouth.
I'm not saying everybody should, but I would. At least then there'd be somebody at the top that I could trust.
So, you guys saw that MMO-population.com chart that I posted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they use tools to try and figure out and calculate population, right?
Is this going to be the world's best MMO kind of like, you know?
No, it is MMOs by population. I mean, they're
no, but like CCP, like in I think one of the articles basically said like, you know, that EVE is the world's best MMO.
Yeah, it's not. It's in population, it's the 19th, so it's about to drop out of the top 20. New World has more of a population than EVE does, according to this. So
yeah.
But if you go there and folks, actually I'll just copy the whole link in here and just put it into to chat because I don't want to ad hoc display it. But if you go there, right, it's very interesting. And by the way, I haven't done a lot of research into this, but this is clearly out there ranking all the MMOs, right? It's very interesting to see in 2017, in 2017, we had just probably over, we had 158,714 active players during that year. And to look at where we are estimated as being today as 85,952. Is that accurate? Is that real? Let's all take that with a grain of salt, right? But what you see is a clear, steep downward trend in active players beginning in July of 2021. And then it evens out, and then another giant steep decline from February of 2022 to today, right? There's a slight uptrend going on right now. And after every steep decline, if you look at it, there's a little bump. But, if that's really where we are today, and that's anywhere near accurate at all, anywhere near within 20, 40,000 players, that's bad.
Yeah, that's not too good. Why?
I'm honestly, I gotta say, I have to question the accuracy of their chart.
Well, we have to look more into their methodology, right? And maybe we can talk to them.
If you look at EVE, the page for EVE,
mm-hmm.
and you look at their daily live population chart.
Yeah.
So EVE's been hovering at a daily count of just under 100K, except now we're up at like 400 and.
Well, again,
today?
It's a DAU though, I think.
Yeah, that's more of
not
a
DAU. Concurrent.
Oh, okay.
So
431,000 players active today.
Well, any algorithm can be gamed, right? So again, this merits some conversation. Maybe we can reach out to these guys and maybe look at them, right? And look a little deeper into their methodology. I'm just bringing it up and make sure we take it with a grain of salt.
Subscribers?
Again, let's take a look at it because they're doing it for all games, right? So they've got to have some methodology, right? And does that perhaps apply to Eve or not and all the other games, right? Is this real? Is it not real? You don't know. Right?
I mean, I just feel like these numbers are highly suspect.
Well, again, it's for conversation. It's not for we're not declaring them true and good, right?
Like maybe it's 9 million people have ever played Eve.
Well, are they counting? Does their algorithm do subscribers or what?
18 million subscribers.
Right. By the way, they go to their about page. They get in more detail on what they're doing, and by the way, they admit that they could be wrong in many cases. So.
Yeah, because so many different companies report their figures in so many different ways to make it convoluted. Because to some degree, like your daily users can be used as both propaganda for and against you as a corporation, as a company. So that's the reason why a lot of MMOs generally don't tend to want to report their numbers.
Right, and I just think it'd be kind of cool to talk to these guys about what they're doing. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, even if they're only good for trending, right? The trending isn't in a good state. But I think we know that, right?
I think we've been calling that for how many years now?
A good long while.
I don't know. We've gone from 86,000 to 430,000 in the space of 3 days. That seems pretty good.
Yep. Woohoo!
If we keep that up, we'll have everybody on Earth playing in under 2 months.
Yeah, and that's they may have changed their methodology or used something new in an algorithm that isn't quite right? So let's see how they may do it.
I would introduce them to Eve Offline if they didn't know about it already.
Oh yeah.
And they'd be like, there is a wealth of information as well as a wealth of not just current information, but historical information there as well that you guys can just have at.
Yeah, I apologize to everybody on the video side. My eyes are really itchy. It's a big pollen day here because it's going to 81 degrees after being snow on Monday and Tuesday.
Over here.
We're going to 81 degrees and the pollen is everywhere. My eyes are just starting to itch, so I apologize that I keep doing that, guys.
Yeah, tree pollen sucks.
Big Pharma were bad. Eric's dealing with big pollen.
Big pollen, baby. Big pollen is
I don't know why, but I can. When you say that, I just imagine fucking big yellow balls flying around.
Oh my god.
Well, just to support you, McLeod, you do know
than it should have been, but
Well, you do know that pollen season is basically trees having a big bukkake show, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to know that.
Seriously.
Yeah, thank you for that wonderful.
Caleb. That's a Caleb special right there for everybody.
This is what we missed. We needed you here for adding in that extra flavor.
Value added.
I'm never getting
I have never thought about what the actual flavor of it is, but I'm sure it's not as bad as mammalian. So,
Caleb, I can't believe you missed it.
What did I miss around this?
Oh,
I'm sure what the actual flavor is, but it's probably a little woody.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna write that one down.
And then the question comes back around to our barbecue discussion of what kind of wood.
Yeah.
Mesquite.
I mean, I'm not sure we want to start talking about Bukake wood in your barbecue. But
let me go down the rabbit hole.
I guess.
I enjoy all the hardwoods. I think apple. I'm gonna be honest.
All the woods, especially the hard ones.
I actually am not a big Applewood fan.
Well, we need to point out that apple and cherry and all of those, if I'm not mistaken, they're kind of exempt, right? Because they are proper flowers, so they're actually pollinated by pollinators, so they don't do the Bukake show.
That's because trees aren't real.
No. So cherry trees and apple trees are the sluts of the tree world. They have big, beautiful blossoms to attract people to come and fuck them.
Exactly.
So
which is the invention of flowers.
So they wear a little more makeup than the other girls. I don't understand why that's a problem.
A fuck ton of more makeup.
So they are swinger trees.
Where did this show go suddenly? What the fuck?
Well, I mean,
science and nature.
What? There's a lot of flowering trees. There's a lot of flowering trees that don't bear fruit.
Right, and before anybody gets any weird ideas about
Caleb,
conspiracy theories or bullshit like that, what I mean when I say trees aren't real is that, like, if you look at ducks or you look at chickens, right, you can see, okay, these are all birds, they all come from a common source. Trees are not actually all related to one another directly. The characteristics of trees being tall and woody and all of that arose like 5 or 6 different times, and they're completely spread out among plants. It'd be like saying birds are frogs.
Horrendous. The birds are government surveillance drones, and they're not.
Yeah.
Real
Well, okay.
Yeah, I sent a picture. I sent you guys a picture of that was real. Anyways, Caleb, my dinosaur game, they came out with like, someone figured out how to make custom skins, so now I'm running around with custom skin dinosaurs. One of them is like bright purple Space Galaxy one.
I thought maybe you'd have one like wearing a tutu or something.
You should do proper feathers, right?
They can only recolor the textures that are already there. They can't add feathers or anything on.
I'll be back.
But
folks.
you should look at my Stegosaurus. I look pretty hot.
Well, I'd be going full fucking Paradise Birds feathers on my dinosaur.
They have one. They have that on the Theory. They made one look like a cassowary. So it's got a long neck with a beak and everything. So they colored it like.
Wow, that's lazy mode. The cassowary is a fucking dinosaur.
I know. Well, then they also took Ostroraptors. They remolded it to look like a mallard duck, and a male and a female. So that's all fun. We just all like all of a sudden someone was like, "Hey, look, we figured out how to make skins on this fucking game." We're like, "Ugh." So my giant.
I thought we had a rule.
Is purple.
I thought we had a rule here when it comes to the animal world. We're not supposed to talk about ducks. We're not supposed to talk about dolphins, and we're not supposed to talk about penguins for obvious reasons.
If you don't know why,
you should not Google it. Do not Google it.
I'm sorry, but Benedict Cumberbatch has convinced me. It's penguin.
Penguin.
Penguins. Caleb, do you see my sexy stego? Look how cute I am.
Oh god, and I kill dinosaurs again.
Yeah.
Oh, Seema, that's good. That's a good dad joke.
If you want an easy investment, it's $20 to play this game, and nothing can stop you.
Is that a one-time fee, or is that a subscription base?
One-time fee.
I mean,
and I bought a second game so I could have a second account, so I could have more dinosaurs. That way, if I didn't want to get rid of one, I could just go place on another account to be another one.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of various games that are going to be less expensive than EVE Online, which will become the most expensive MMO in the world on a subscription basis next month, there's an article on INN, the breaking news article at the bottom. There's various games. WoW, Lotro's there. Dual Universe, the Xbox Game Pass for PC.
Who wrote that article?
That was written by Barghost.
Oh yeah. A famed co-host of his show.
Who's not here? Yeah,
I know.
we should be frowning at him and pinging him relentlessly. But also coming up on May 12th is a new Stellaris expansion, which is likely to be looking at the Steam page.
More Eve ships?
1549 GBP, so probably around $20, I would say. And you get to do sci-fi stuff in strategy in a space environment. Like,
isn't there an EVE Online like mod for that?
There was an EVE mod at one point. I'm not sure if it's still kicking about, but it did have one at some point. Yeah,
that'd be kind of funny.
If viewers would like to play Dota with me, which costs $0, I'm willing to play Dota with anybody.
Dino?
At least once.
What's your Dino game again?
It's called The Isle.
The Isle.
But say, Eric, look, I'm so cute.
But the color scheme of that dino right now, it looks like a monarch butterfly, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I know. That's why I liked it. I might send you a picture of some of the other new skins. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Look how tiny my head is. I'm like, how would I have a brain? It's so tiny. Had to be an idiot.
Somebody clip that.
You know when you kind of like, I was, tempted to, I was gonna go for that, and then I was like, actually, no, that's just too easy.
You know what's really interesting is this dinosaur in this game hits as hard as a T-Rex and weighs half its weight. So I just like, whatcha, and fuck shit up. Great. I had to like.
My only concern with that. My only concern with that game is, like, I ultimately know what the end game of that game is.
Look, anyway. I found a friend!
What?
I know what the end game of that, like, I know what the conclusion to the story of that particular game that Dawn's playing is already.
It's death. It's death.
It doesn't end well. It's death by either other dinosaurs or, like, a massive rock from outer space. So,
Enjoy it while it lasts. You've only got so long. Much like Eve, I guess. If people are still playing Eve.
See, I have a friend now. We're going on an adventure.
I've got to say, Faradar in Twitch chat has a very good point. We've been talking smack about Eve for a little while. We're generally, not impressed with the state of things in this channel and on this talk show. We haven't been for a while. But Faradar has a very good point, which is that we are also still, happy for anybody who finds enjoyment in Eve currently, and like how expensive Eve is going to be at $20 a month for a single month of subscription. But if you are still enjoying playing Eve and you think it's worth the money, and you want to carry on playing Eve and enjoying it, that's all very well and good. We're happy for you.
I gotta take off. Guys, I'll catch you later.
Take care, Arendis. Thanks for coming.
So Arendis leaves just when I'm about to pitch something that he would actually like. Because I was gonna say that if you save money on your subscription from Eve, you should really get a Hit History account and watch these amazing documentaries.
Caleb, let Dirk finish. Bye.
I was just gonna say, if you're still enjoying playing Eve, make sure you turn the lights out. Farah makes it a very good point. Make sure you turn the lights out as the last one to leave.
Kind of like JMS on the last Babylon 5s, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be in that group of the last people in EVE Online and turning off the lights.
You may still be.
No, I've been there. I've been out for a few years now, so.
Yeah, but you're still around and sniffing.
Well, I was hoping they were going to fix things, but apparently they're going in the opposite direction. They're going to break it even harder.
What I am so frustrated with is that while some people didn't like some parts of like 16, 17, 18, and 19, those kind of that range of years where they were doing a lot of those like abundance changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were still having fun. A lot of people were having fun. It was fun to earn your capital. It was fun to go on roams with people. And, you know, yeah, there were problems for sure. But the changes they made to stuff didn't fix those problems. They just eliminated a lot of the fun. And
they made it worse. I'm just a little bit miffed over the fact that I didn't get to celebrate my 20th anniversary. So because that was actually coming up next year. So.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, you can. Like 20 years of being an Eve player. Just say that.
Well, but I'm not anymore. I have literally officially bailed from this shit show because they killed it. And it's so fucking sad because it was the greatest game ever fucking made.
Oh, yeah. I guess, Caleb, since you weren't here that week, I guess we'll ask you, how do you feel about them slashing the build requirements in half for the capitals, basically?
I think all that stuff was complete shit show. Everything they've done with the industry and the attempts to fix the economy, everything that the ecosystem team has been hands-on with is one big fucking failure. I can see some of the reasoning behind some of it, but it's just fundamentally wrong. And I don't know who they've been talking to, or if it's just one man and his fantasy, but it's just all wrong. Everything they've done since they basically introduced vertical farming and fucking infinite slots is just one big failure. It's just been going downhill ever since. You can then talk about the details from one patch or 1 year to another of what they were trying to do and changing blueprint composition and changing the whole thing of availability of resources in space. Well, and again, in isolation, each of these things make sense. But when you're talking about balancing a game like EVE Online, as we have discussed here a million fucking times, you cannot focus on something in isolation because you're going to break it, because everything was and is tied together in EVE Online. It's the whole thing that makes it so unique compared to other games. So if you're trying to fix one thing, you need to at least have a fucking flowchart and a plan for how that's going to impact everything else.
I think the flowchart was change everything, something happens in the middle with giant question marks, and then profit. That was their flowchart.
It was they were running on the idea or the principle of, if we can't even figure out what the fuck is going to happen, then how will the players?
Ooh.
Except the players did, and just showed that the idea or the principle that they were going with was just fucking dumb.
Well, let me give you one of the examples that I find funny from recent changes, right? The whole compression thing. It had the potential, in my opinion, to be brilliant because they gave this completely broken version, which was a horror show for anyone with a brain. It's like, this can't be real. And that's where you then had the opportunity to say, okay, sorry, we did it wrong. Of course, that's not going to be it. We're going to turn it down and then bring in something that is maybe a little bit excessive, but still fair, especially compared to the extreme stupidity that they launched. But no, they completely caved and then removed it. So there's no time loss, no speed bump, no loss of any kind.
Yeah.
On compression.
Like, they needed a win, and it was an easy win of like,
but it was
okay,
you can right win. It was the
I don't
dumb
care.
Win.
It's fun. It is not dumb. It is good.
It is the
and
dumbest
everyone likes
fucking
it.
win ever.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah, and everyone loves instant travel, but it still breaks games. That's just how things work. If there is no fucking thing to grind against, there is no game. And again, but my tedium. Players, gamers love tedium. They love challenge. They love hard mode. And the games that are successful,
like 10% of people like hard mode.
The most grindy games I've ever played recently is Lost Ark and New World. And people loved the grind. And the most hardcore games like Soth will attest to, Elden Ring, everyone is clapping in their fucking hands. So real gamers love grind and love hardcore mode.
Right, yeah.
Stop whining.
But this is a distinction that we keep having to make. This is a distinction that we keep having to make, which is that there is a difference between the grind and the tedium. The grind is fine. If you have to put in work and effort to get what you consider to be a reward, great, fine. That's a thing for a lot of people, and it's actually quite rewarding. It feels like you've achieved something. Tedium is just adding extra boredom and bullshit for no real reason.
But that's not the point, Dirk, and that's not the problem. The problem is that in EVE recently we are being forced into specific gameplay styles, and if we don't do those, there is not enough payback or revenue to make up for the fact that let's say something like mining. You can't do other things to support your needs. This is similar in other games where if you were forced to do a specific type of gameplay in that game to be able to effectively play the game, you would hate it because you're being forced. But tedium to one is not necessarily tedium to another. Someone that loves mining, to them it's not a problem. Someone that loves gate camping, not a problem. Someone that loves PvP, not a problem. The point is that CCP lost the whole plot when it comes to balancing the whole game. This is why I keep saying they should have done actual analysis of the different play styles and play activity styles in the game and figured out what is the revenue from that in just raw ISK, right? So how much is your average fucking wage per hour? This should have been the metric they should have sat down and said, okay, something is wrong. It's out of whack. Wormholers need the big nerf bat, and maybe some high psych activity needs to be buffed, right? This is the type that needed to be changed because things are completely broken in EVE now. I'm going to say maybe not as bad as it is in other games, and this is back to the point that other games are more horrible than EVE, and anyone that says otherwise just either is completely ignorant of what they are doing in those games and somehow hiding the fact, or they just want to hate on EVE, because EVE is not the worst when it comes to these things. I'm pretty sure that people that's been playing Lost Ark will attest to this. The things you're forced to do in Lost Ark is fucking borderline cancerous, but people still like it, and they still do it 12 hours a day.
Because Lost Ark actually understands what type of game it is, right? Mm-hmm. They are not pretending to be a different game, right?
Well, I think my main point was that CCP doesn't understand or seem to completely misunderstand how complicated their game is to make fun and balanced. It is not like other games. This is why I have come around. I thought that someone like Rattati could run a team to fix these things, but apparently he's been doing the exact opposite. He is making it way worse than it could ever have been. And people say, well, scarcity and lack of resources is bad in EVE. Well, I kind of agree, but the point is the amount of energy and effort and time you have to put in when you're hammering on these faucets was completely out of whack. And if you give players in EVE too much easy mode, it is the most sensitive game when it comes to breaking the entire mold, because in this game everything matters when it comes to the economy, to everyone. Even the smallest guy chipping away at a rock in the ass end of nowhere will have an impact on the economy. That's how the game is designed. This is not World of Warcraft. This is not Lost Ark. And a lot of players seem to argue and talk about EVE Online as if it should be. And I'm just saying, going down that path is exactly what Rattati and his friends are doing. And they're breaking the game, because EVE does not work if it is not the interdependency. You being able to solo is supposed to be by your choices, but it's still always supposed to tie into the rest of the ecosystem. If it does not, if we go down this whole line of bind on pickup and all that shenanigans that they try to do to fix their faucet problems in other MMOs, you're going to break EVE. It does not work. So the game is made on creation, destruction. Someone mines, someone produces, and someone blows it the fuck up.
So, just out of interest, like, would you consider EVE Online to be a lot more realistic, a lot closer parallels to to like realism than any other kind of like game?
Yes, this is why so many of the things you do when you analyze real ecosystems and real economies, it works in EVE, because all these things were mostly tied together. I can just say that again. when we got infinitely spawning anomalies, which is basically an infinite faucet, and when we got infinite slots, that whole thing kind of broke. And
sure, and
that,
I can agree with that.
I need to ask. I've got a follow up in that regard for this. The reason why I asked what I asked is, if that is the case, like, EVE is a much more realistic sort of form of, an ecosystem, of an economy, of a sort of like a, that kind of thing. Then why do we not follow sort of like a realism with regards to, inflation and, like the increase in terms of complexity of goods, of services, of like,
that's actually
technology, all that kind of stuff?
That's an easy answer, right? This is about things that I think we've discussed, at least Eric and I, when we're talking about things like saturation of markets and productivity. If there is not enough consumption compared to the effectiveness of productivity, you get basically stockpiles amassing at a pace that is not sustainable. So if a factory, say Ford Motor Companies, could produce cars at a certain rate and suddenly it doesn't match the requirement in reality, so everyone now has a car and they're not getting destroyed fast enough, well, then your productivity in your factory is worth shit. And this is something that we did reach in real life, which is why Ford Motor Company started doing cars in different colors, so they could actually artificially increase demand. This is artificial scarcity, artificial demand, all this stuff, right? And artificial.
Yeah, but you add options to things, and you increase. You make modifications, you make updates, you make improvements.
Yeah,
and it's something that like CC, and it's something that should have been ingrained in how EVE Online kind of like continues to evolve and continues to change the game. Except they don't. They kind of look at it and they go, no, everything has to basically be essentially sort of the same kind of price as it has always been.
But this is why I argued with you, and you disagreed.
Then the game kind of like it is fucked up. Like,
but this is why I was arguing back when we were talking about things like skins and IDs on who actually produces something. This is exactly the type of added variation that needs to be inserted and designed into the industry in EVE Online. This is why I said skins should be part of the Blueprint industry line. It should be something that when you apply it, when you build a ship, you can't just reapply it. It needs to be something that is almost like a build item. So it becomes like the Ford Motor Company 5 different colors. So you get this variation and this increase in demand, right? So if they did something like this, then you could also have things like people that did not want to buy from a certain entity, which basically gives purchase power to the player base. There's many of these things from the real world that really needed to go into EVE to make it better.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying, like, I'm not, specifically, I'm not talking like wanting to talk about skins and stuff. I'm wanting to talk about like stuff that people actually make in game, that kind of thing. And I do understand that, like, you're making the point that like skins should be something that people make in game as such. But like, when we're talking about like things, that should be part of the EVE ecosystem but aren't. But my point is especially is because you shouldn't be able to have one without the other, and if you don't have one without the other, then the one part of it starts to fucking fail.
Well, it's back to something that I've said before. I don't think it's healthy for EVE to get a whole line of new ships. I think what we need is to maybe add the variation and the variability in our blueprints design, so blueprints can start being not the same. So it's not just like everyone that's got a blueprint for a battleship, all those blueprints are the same, with maybe some sort of whether or not they're fully researched. But my argument was we need variation into that research. So I can change my blueprint to maybe take a little bit less titanium and maybe a little bit more.
Well, no, I don't think
that's all nice for industrialists, Caleb, but who other than industrialists gives a fuck about that?
No, but I was about to get to that. The other thing is, I also think that we should be able to research things like our actual skins to add modifiers. Maybe not massively huge modifiers, but minute differences. So there's like 0.5% extra damage per level in, I don't know, Keldari ships for the skin of this type that this faction actually creates. And then all these things would create variation on top of this without requiring us to introduce completely new ships.
So you basically
you don't even need to do that
ammo in the form of skins.
That's not gold ammo. That's just that's a modifier. Instead of this bullshit enchantment shit that we got, if it had been made on a blueprint basis, where you have to buy the blueprint, research the blueprint to specialize in it in a specific direction, then
to go through tedium.
But it's not tedium. You don't have to research this. You don't have to build this. Why are you talking about tedium? For me, as an industrialist or a miner or an industrialist corp or a capitalist or a trader, this is fucking important.
I couldn't give a fuck about, like, you know, adding sort of slight variations to, you know, to what like industrialists can purchase if the system at its base is still fucked up. What I'm talking about is, you know, sort of if you want to have a system that is very, you know, specifically very realistic, you can't have one part of it and just negate the other part. Like, it needs to be all or nothing. And if you're going to be doing that, then you need to have, you know, inflation in various different ways, and you need to look at it as not inherently a super bad thing. Yeah, runaway inflation is a bad thing, but inflation at a steady rate is normal.
But the problem is we don't have inflation. Inflation would actually be kind of healthy in EVE Online, especially if
it would.
If CCP helped and worked with it and actually printed more ISK in the right way and in all the right places.
Yeah, and adjusted certain things in the manner that, like, if an NPC ship manufacturer updated their various different things so they're not fucking ancient things that, like, have stayed the same for millennia. Like, if they actually updated their stuff and required to have, like, a little bit more materials here every so often, that would make sense.
I keep trying to explain that something like blueprint copies need to be something that is a cyclical. It needs to fucking rot and disappear if you're not using it. We need these things that are kind of timed and can become consumables and cyclicals and things that are a real thing in economy. You can't have eggs on a shelf for 5 years. They're going to fucking rot and you can't sell them anymore. This is true for everything has some sort of limited lifespan. It's just a matter of how long that is. But CCP could have actually started introducing some of these things into the ecosystem, and it would actually have helped a lot. It's the same when we just talked about blueprints being researched. Well, there's so many finished and done researched blueprints in the system that there is no lack of this. And this is